Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Pocket Change Market Report for July 22, 2023. I hope everyone's doing well this fine weekend as we take a look at the market as a whole for errors and varieties that have been selling on eBay. All right, so as you guys know, I like to document exactly how things are going throughout the summer. All right, it's been one of those more intriguing times of the year where there's a lot more uncertainty in the market as far as who's going to be collecting as people are on vacation. You know, that's a huge X factor when it comes to this time of year. And it used to be pre-pandemic that we could always count on a summer slowdown. Well, we haven't really seen a whole lot of that here this year. It's just been consistent sales. There's been a fair amount of interest across the board for these two particular types of numismatics, errors and varieties. So it's worth mentioning that I think this week we're beginning to see a little bit of slowdown, but it may not be all that it's cracked up to be. And the big reason why is that we are truly in the dead heat of summer right now. And we have been finding a lot of the lower tier errors haven't been selling as well as they were, say, a month ago. You know, like rim clips, laminations, you know, marginally off-center struck coins, and a few other things. And plus we're seeing a nice healthy dip of just more modern stuff. You know, the 2019, 2020 Die Clash Lincoln cents haven't been selling in that $30 to $40 range like it used to. We've seen a pretty good drop off on those. Now, could it just be that the market has adjusted because everybody that wanted it did get them? Or is this just a lull? You know, are we just in a 1 week, two week, you know, lull when it comes to these coins? Will they rebound? You know, there's a lot of things to kind of consider here. But, you know, I would say if you have some of these lower tier, sub $20 to $30 coins, you might want to think twice about selling them. Or at the very least, if you are going to sell them, make sure you end the listings at a prime part of the week. Usually Thursdays are good, you know, the day before payday for a lot of folks. Fridays are exceptional. Try not to end things right now on Saturdays and Sundays. Again, we have to consider psychologically that a lot of people are generally not available on the weekends. And that even goes for coin dealers and collectors. Okay, those folks take vacations too. A few little ground rules, as always. We don't discuss graded coins. You know, I try and adhere to this as best as I can because grading normally adds that extra element of, hey, look, I just spent $30 on this coin to get it graded, and it's still worth what it was before I graded it. All right, so sometimes it's just not necessary. A lot of the coins featured today, you can just sell right off the rip. Resell them on eBay. Just take a picture as you find them. I mean, you could, the moment you find these out in the wild somewhere, you know, take a quick picture, throw it up on eBay, and bam, just like that, you're going to have a quick listing. And another thing to keep in mind, all the images you're going to see here today are original to the respective seller's listings. Okay, we didn't juice or doctor anything here for this video. You are truly going to get the best and the worst images known to man for these coins that are being sold on eBay. So just understand, there's going to be a low bar that's being set here. If you can take a picture and it's halfway decent clear, you might be able to do this for a living as kind of like a side gig, a side hustle, so to speak. And that's something that I do. I make pretty good money doing this, you know, month in, month out. And it's a lot of fun. And you get to connect with a lot of people in the hobby doing it this way. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Man, these introductions just keep getting longer and longer, and I do apologize. You guys can, of course, fast forward to a part of the video. Yeah, well, you're going to see some updates on the 2023 Extra V variation Lincoln Shield Sense, probably going into the fall season. All right, so just know that you're going to see maybe 2 or 3 listings being talked about because they're selling actually quite well. You know, the prices have been all over the place. I mean, it's crazy. We saw some buy it now listings from my last PCMR, like 3-4 days ago, that were scooped up for $30. All right. But people were throwing those up as buy it nows, not understanding that you could do a lot better, simply by just converting them to a regular auction. I know there's no instant gratification doing it that way. You have to wait a week, but I'm telling you, you're going to make a lot more money doing it that way, based off of the market sentiment for these coins. So obviously, your highest graded examples are going to be your made ones to sell here. I think ever since I did that, I think I did a little short video a few days ago where graded specimens of these, they have to grade at least 67, which seems to be kind of the average grade. Those coins are selling for like $400 to $500. So I think people are interested in buying some of these. That not so much selling. Okay, I think there's going to be kind of a about face turn on these as folks are picking them up in the best grade possible to send off to NGC. And when they get them back, turn it around, resell them, you know, profit $300-400. That's kind of like the free easy tendies right here. You don't even necessarily have to look for these in circulation, especially for some of you that are on the west coast of the U.S., you know, anywhere west of the Mississippi. Yeah, this represents a real good opportunity for someone that has maybe $400 or $500 in extra money. You can go out there into the e-com world of eBay, pick up a few of these, send them off to NGC, and kind of repeat the process. You could effectively do this for about probably the next like 4 or 5 months as these things begin to kind of like circulate a little bit more. You're not going to find nearly the nicer grades as we used to. Plus, as we inject more supply into the market, that's obviously going to affect the value as well of those graded pieces. We might even see them drop down to maybe as low as $100, $200. So while the money is still decent at that level, you might as well take advantage of it while it's hot right now. So this one particular piece right here, you can see it's highlighted by the little extra V anomaly that's next to the main VDB initials for Victor Brenner there. This one piece was picked up as a buy it now for $65.25, which is pretty much where it's been. All right, this is kind of like that rolling average every week, and we've seen like a $50 to $60 average for the extra V Lincolns for a good 4 to 6 weeks. All right, now I would expect that to continue on as people discover that, you know, these are gradable, and GC attributes them as the extra V, and then you can make some money that way. So something to keep in mind. The next one that we have here, surprisingly, this one escaped the dreaded, oh no, it's sold for too cheap listing. 1944 Lincoln wheat cent with a pretty nice delam strip there on the left side of the coin. So the delamination is just impurities in this particular planchet. Call it a defective planchet, you know, as you will. This one right here ended up selling for $21.38. Note the condition. These things do not have to be the beauty queen to sell for a lot more money. I mean, they will sell for a lot more money if they are in mid-state condition, but just understand coins of this particular grade level, you don't have to worry about it as much. Here's our first piece of currency. We have a 2003 $1 bill. So we have a misaligned overprint on this one. You could see the overprint with the serial numbers and the seals all shifted down to the, just pretty much down for where they're at. I think there is a sheet shift or tilt because the right side of the overprint is affected a little bit more than the left side. All right, so there was like a slightly rotated sheet. Condition-wise, top left corner tear, obviously going to affect the value of such a note. However, this one still ended up selling for $157.68 with 32 bids, which is a ridiculously phenomenal amount of cash, considering that I sold one that is in much more impressive shape with an actual corner on it, and a lot more wilder of a misaligned overprint for just under how much this one sold for. And I sold that one on Whatnot. So someone got a pretty good deal. When I sold that one, I thought it'd be like 150-ish, and they got it for like 130. It's a pretty good deal. It's serviceable, and I'm okay with it. But these things are wildly popular. So when you do come across them, and keep in mind, I did notice a few 2017A $1 bills with a pretty sizable misalignment shift. Those are currently out there in circulation. So they're even affecting much newer notes as of the taping of this video. Next one that we have here, we did have a couple of the good old Tuskegee Airmen's gone but not forgotten. However, people did forget how much people were spending on these 2 years ago. Not so much that anymore. But here's a quick little update on the burning building strike through. As you can see there on the reverse, $35.74 with 5 bids. Not what it was at the $200 to $300 level 2 years ago. But $30 is $30. Don't turn your back on this kind of money, as this seems to be right now the current floor on these. I don't think they're going to go a whole lot cheaper, considering how sizable this mint error is. So please do keep that in mind. If you do come across one that is in exceptional shape and are selling for $30-40, I would probably pick that one up. And always consider that the strike-through events, they get a little bit bigger, they're smaller. People collect these by size, shape, and there's really no progression to these because each one is going to be quite unique. Here's our next one right here. Again, another slightly misaligned overprint here. And not to mention that the note looks to be a little bit miscut as well. So the misalignment is going to be print number 2, which is the main base design for the front of the bill. Okay, the overprint, the serial numbers and seals, all seem to be perfectly centered for the size of the note, that piece of paper there. So this one right here ended up selling for $58.88. A pretty well circulated piece. And again, there's always going to be a fair amount of interest for this particular error, as they're still somewhat affordable and they're quite dramatic. Really cool one here. This is a Lincoln cent of no particular date. That was struck by I would say a mid-state capped die, because you have a nice fair amount of brockage on there as well. You could see the whatever the remnants is of the Lincoln Memorial on that that die cap that's stuck to the obverse die in this particular case. So yeah, it had minted probably no more than a few dozen coins by the time the distortion comes out to looking like this. It's actually really wild. This one sold for $88.88. A really cool sale price with all the 8s there. Someone got a really nice error coin, and this is definitely the stage that you want to try and buy into. Here's a 2-pack of off-center struck Lincolns. A couple of the more readily available dates out there, as these were commonly found in mint-sewn bags. We have a 99 and a 2000. Respectively, they're off-center by about 10-15% apiece. So with the 2 coin lots here, I mean, a great little starter pack, or if you're looking to sell, you can do it like this as well. 2 coins isn't necessarily bulk, like selling as a bulk deal. It is in quantity, but oftentimes you're not going to get a great deal if you're looking to buy bulk lots to resell. 2 coin lots are hardly bulk. So the 2 coins you saw here sold for $19.99. Cool part is they have full readable dates. Great little starter pack for a off-center collection. Or you could probably resell them for about 2x, what these sold for, so $20. But keep in mind, there are 2 of the more common dates. There's a lot of competition for 99 and 2000s out there on eBay. So this coin was promoted as being off-center, and you know, they're not wrong. All right, this one is either slightly off-center or broad struck. However, we have to keep in mind that this minor kind of off-center or broad strike on a lot of these coins from the federal age of U.S. coinage is normal. The same way that you could find one of these with a dramatic 50, 60 degree rotated reverse is just as normal as well. So in this particular case, this one actually more getting some consideration for just being a really nice date of cap bus half dollar. This one is a well-known Overton. You can see the die clash of the shield right under Liberty's ear there, and then you can also see a fair amount of clashing on the reverse, which for 1812 and 1813, and you could probably throw 1814 in there too. There's a good amount of clash dies that you could find, and again, that's something that's common, and they're usually attributable through Overton, which is the main variety or die pairing namesake for these. So really cool. I would say it's less of the off-center. It's more about the actual type coin itself. This one ended up selling for $330.25. Again, we look at this coin and it's in decent shape. Kind of hard to say if it's been cleaned. It looks pretty original, although I do see some hairlines on the reverse in the fields. So really nice piece. I like it just for its outward appearance of personality. And the die clashing gives it the extra element of pizzazz. But keep in mind, the earlier the coins are with mid-errors, sometimes that could detract from the overall appeal of the coin. Here's another 3-pack of off-center strikes. No really readable dates. We do know they're from the 1900s. You know, that's at least what my daughter tells me. You're from the 1900s. And I feel old because of that. But anyways, we do know they're copper-coated zincants. You know, the off-center degree, you know, varies from, I don't know, 40% going all the way up to 70. So is there a resale opportunity? It sold for $37.92. I don't know. It's a tough one. No readable dates here. I probably would have avoided this, but if you need a pretty nice, acceptable 3-pack to get your collection started, it's hard to go wrong here. Here's our other Tuskegee Airmen Burning Building Strike Through. This one a much larger event, and the coin seems to be in a much better grade state as well. I would still say it's still mint state here. This one sold for $35.75. It was another buy it now for I think $30 plus ship. So again, these things have dipped all the way down to a level that we've never seen, but it might be a buying opportunity. If you know, maybe you're looking to collect into something that is now affordable and will be relevant for years to come. Again, these things are not going to drop to zero. So here's one of those die clashes I was talking about, this time on 2022. Man, you can always count on these to be a very good seller for between $30 and $40. This one has pretty decent clashes, although I've seen much stronger clashing on these before. It did sell for $19.49 with 2 bids. A lot of people do have these, and the ones that really wanted them, they now own multiples of these. So either they're taking a break, or we're just seeing just way too much supply for these. Now here's another good one to keep on the lookout for. This one still aging gracefully compared to the Tuskegee Airmen. This is the good old Crown die chip. Reverse on the Washington crossing the Delaware. You can see that pretty nice sized crown right there above his head, which is a huge die break. This one sold for $83.99. Still selling. I mean, this one was a buy it now nab. So someone did pick this one up pretty quickly for that amount. The coin looks to be in really nice shape as well. Probably the most impressive listing this week is this 3-pack of currency errors. So we got the $5 bill with a butterfly fold. So the corner of the sheet had a little fold and then it was cut, thereby leaving that cute little piece right there. Do not tear it off if you find one, by the way. I've actually seen that. The second note has a partial back to front wet ink transfer. I'd say it's probably about 15-20%. You can see the wet ink transfer there on the left side of the note. And then finally, it could possibly be on that $20 bill an obstruction. It looks to be an obstruction and less of a insufficient ink error on that one because there's a abrupt cutoff right at the edge of the missing print. So, yeah, pretty nice. I mean, this one's really impressive. So these are 3 really nice paper money errors, and they're all in pretty nice shape as well. The 3 together sold for $400.25. Could be a little opportunity to pick these up. I would say a great 3-pack to add to a collection if you're getting started on paper money errors. But you could possibly make some money here. You know, you're not going to 2x your money, I don't think. But maybe, you know, make $100 or $150 here with this. You know, could be. All right, so I talked about this one in a short video, and now we have finally seen this one end as a sale. 2019D Lincoln Shield Send with a rather big growth on Lincoln's chin there. So it could be one of 2 things, guys. It could either be, sorry about that, it could either be a huge die break or a plating blister. The only way to tell for sure is if you grabbed a toothpick and you poke at it. You poke the bear. So if you poke it and it's soft, it's a plating blister, unfortunately. And we see that quite often on this composition right here. Again, that's lending to some impurities between the zinc core and the copper plating. It's a really easy explanation to see. So hopefully that thing is hard as a rock, you know, once you poke it a little bit. Or, you know, I know it sucks if you see this thing deflate like a balloon. But let's talk about the sale price, because this could be an expensive lesson. $50.24 with 25 bids. You know, there you go. That's what it's sold for. It's expensive, but, you know, I really don't know what else to say, really. So the next coin that we have here, now we're getting into, you know, some more great type pieces. 1864 2-cent piece. Now this one was promoted and pitched as having these nice little rim cuts here. But overall, this is just a really pretty looking coin. It's a great high-end type piece. I would say it's AU condition, which is great here. It features the basic large letters from what I could see. The small letters is the much more rare type for this date. This one right here sold for $90.25, which based off of condition alone, that's probably what it's worth. 1921 Morgan dollar. And it's the S-Mint too. I saw this one. I'm like, wow, someone got a screaming deal. So this is the screaming deal listing of the week right here. So if you guys know your VAM varieties, this is one of the premier top, like I think this is a hit list 40 if I'm not mistaken. It's that nice. Only can be found on the S-Mint 21s. It's what they call the Thornhead VAM. It's VAM 1B6. You can see this little thing, this line right here. That's what they called it. That's the Thornhead. All right, so that's the namesake that's been given. It's like a die gouge on there. But if you're able to find that, and then you know, you grade these through PCGS, and they sell routinely for at least $500 to $600, and they go up from there. They're not cheap at all by any means. This one got picked up for $93.99, and I would say it's probably like a mid-state 61, 62-ish grade right here for this. This is going to end up being a real easy 3x profit machine. Really nice pickup. And the seller even put it up as the VAM 1B6, but not added Thornhead on there. Okay, so that could trip up a lot of people into thinking that this is something else than what it is supposed to be, which is a big coin. I haven't seen one of these in a while, but it's always a welcome surprise to find a huge cut die break on a 55 Lincoln wheat cent. So much going on here. And the condition, I love it. This is perfect right here. It doesn't have to be a full mint state red for it to be one of the monsters out there, but you can see even has a nice sized die chip here, but there's that big die break. Goodness. This one sold for $77.25 with 13 bits. So again, cuds are kings, folks. They're always going to be very desired. 1917D Buffalo Nickel. Here's a cherry picker's guide variety that I'm sure a lot of you are not aware of. We've all heard of the 37D three-legged buffalo. We've probably also heard about the 36D 3.5-legger, all right? Or did they call that one a full 3-leg? It doesn't matter. Okay, we've heard about a few three-legged varieties. Did you know they had one for 17D? And it's the coin that you see here. Now, this is a 3.5 legs. You're going to find that that 4-leg right there is pretty weakly looking, all right? It's a little bit of an over-abraded die to where you don't have a really full struck front leg on good old Black Diamond here. This is the FS 901 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and it sold for $70.75. Really good sale. I think it was a buy now listing. 1946 Rosie. Nice, brilliant, uncirculated condition coin. Now, I blew up the images a little bit because they were quite small. So, they were a little bit pixelated, but you could tell that this is a really nice high-end piece. But please do look for the massive doubled die that you can find for this date. Check out the doubling on the motto. Especially the word trust is really crazy on this one. It's the FS 103 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and it sold for $39. So someone got a really good deal. They could grade this through like NGC, keep it relatively inexpensive, and probably end up profiting about a $100 bill off of it. Yeah, this one's been cleaned, but it is a 1983P Washington quarter, slightly off center there, or maybe a little bit more broad struck than anything else. Yeah, still sold for $38.95. I don't know if the person that bought it think that it just had a really cool surface to it and thought that maybe it was one that came from the mint that way, but nah, this one's pretty well cleaned. You can see all the hairlines all over the place indicating that. So this is a 1981. There is actually a little bit of a date there you could read. Lincoln Memorial Cent. Very nice high-graded piece, by the way. Struck through a late-stage die cap. Late enough stage that you could see some punch-through of the date from the die. This one sold for $39.99. Again, a very, very nice mid-era collectible. And, yeah, they're popular. Haven't seen a high or low leaf Wisconsin in quite a while, but here's another one that did sell. 2004D is the date on these. This one is the high leaf, which is I'm going to say intentionally placed die gouge or engraving. So this one has that extra line. That is not supposed to be there, ladies and gentlemen, but this one has it. And then the low leaf, you guys know what that one looks like. Coin's in pretty decent shape. This one sold for $104.50 with 34 bits. Here's an update, 2023 bank box of Lincoln's, $25 face value. This one sold for $95. So after fees and shipping, probably about a $40 profit, okay? And you don't take into account the actual face value of the coins, so you have to back that out of there. But yeah, still selling really well in the pursuit of some of those extra V Lincolns. Here's another extra V that sold. This one, actually one of the higher priced ones for the week, ended up selling for $130.25. We haven't seen these price levels in probably about a month, and that's how much we've moved in the evolution of the price of these. As folks are, they're gobbling up the examples that they want, And yeah, another pretty big sale. And we usually find a few of these sales that eclipse the $100 kind of like threshold lately, you know. So again, if the coin is a nice shape like this one is, someone will pay that kind of money so that way they can grade them, because that's where the bigger money is. And then finally, we got one more struck through capped eye. We got this one right here. It looks like the capped eye was also a little bit split, but you know, I'd probably think there's just a slight little brockage here. That might actually be the base of Jefferson's Monticello. And yeah, it's gotten large and stretched out here. Yeah, just a really cool looking coin. And you can find these on just about any denomination. You know, things like quarters and half dollars are a lot more rare for this occurrence. So those things command hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But this nickel, yeah, very nice. So that's going to go ahead and do it for the weekend edition of the Pocket Change Market Report. I'm your host, Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I hope you guys had a great time as much as I did, talking about some of the greatest coins that we could find in the wild today. And I hope you guys, you know, you guys get your lion's share. You go out there, you do some hunting. There's a lot of coin shows happening these days. And, you know, find yourself some pretty phenomenal stuff. Maybe I might highlight it on a future Blue Ridge Silverhound Pocket Change Market Report. So that's going to go ahead and wrap things up. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I shall see you guys on the next coin video. Take care now.